just saying you have to be careful with those labels. Also, too, you have to understand that friendships, there are different categories for friendships, right? And this is what I had to understand in order to let go.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are, so we basically have three categories. One is friends are come in your life for a reason, for a season, and for a lifetime. So I said all that to say, I have put these certain friends into the wrong bucket. Mm-hmm. I thought they were going to be for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. And it took a while for me to understand that they were only here for a season.
Correct.
And once I was able to accept that, then I was able to let go.
This is the B-side, 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 the marriage. This is the B-side, 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 the marriage.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Bside of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Rashonda, and this is my husband and co-host,
Jason.
And here at the B-side, we talk about everything related to marriage. The good, the bad, the real, the A, and the B-side. So yeah, if you're watching us, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and do all the same things on the audio. What?
No.
I was like, what?
No,
Yeah. So do the same thing on all the audio platforms.
As well, follow us on Facebook at The B-Side of Marriage and on Instagram at B-Side of Marriage.
Yeah. You're surprised that us just kind of sped through that.
Yeah, because
usually I'm not
the
that.
past couple, you kind of.
I know.
That's why I was like, that was the face. So.
I know. Caught you off guard.
You sure
did.
did.
I think because what we're going to be talking about today is a little, a little heavy.
Oh, okay.
It's not real heavy, but, it's just something that I'm not really looking forward to talking about. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah. I was like, let's just go and get it over with.
Okay.
So I can get back to my good day.
You're hilarious.
Okay. So, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Mm-hmm. Oh, so now okay, sorry. We got to get back into it. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're glad to have you. And if you're returning, welcome back, fam. We missed y'all.
Welcome, yes. So what? Wait a second. Now I'm kind of...
What? I've confused you.
Yeah, you did confuse me.
Why? Because now we're about to do... We're about to share. We're about to go into our first segment.
You paused like I was supposed to say something. That's why.
That's what I was like. But you made a face like you wanted to say something, so that's why I was like,
oh. Because I was like, okay. I'm in my head. I'm like, am I supposed to say something? No, that's why I made the face. So okay.
No. So now we're gonna go into our first segment, where we and a reality check, basically.
Well, I'll say my A side. I'll say my A side and B side. I guess my B side is like is kind of A. It's kind of A and B-ish. It's not really just B, but my A side, I would have to go with how impressed I was with the boys on their first game last week.
For the basketball team.
For the basketball team that I coach, how impressed I was. They actually. First game of the season went into overtime.
Yes.
And had people like stressed, like watching the game. Like, no, not just you. Even like one of the guys that works for the league, he was talking about y'all can't keep having games like this every week. He was like, the first game of we was the first game of last week. And he was like, y'all started off. He was like, y'all almost gave me a heart attack. So that's why I said that way. So, but yeah, it was good. It was good. And like I said, it's just to see where they go from here is going to be awesome. So, my B side that I said is kind of like A and B side. So, Yeah, I finally both not me, both me and Shonda. We've been meaning to get my mom's memorial done, and started working on it.
The headstone.
The headstone, memorial headstone, yeah. For my mom, and it was like I said, it was bittersweet. It was emotional, but at the same time, it was good. It felt good. So it had us talking with the kids,
Oh,
a little emotional, So, but it was good. It was really good because that's something that even now when I go back to where she's buried at, it bothers me that I know where she's at, but people at family and friends don't know. They always have to ask. So to be able to do this is going to really allow my family just to know right where to go. So, So what about you?
Okay. I didn't know you were going to go there. But yes. So my A is that I graduated.
Yeah.
I know we haven't talked about it yet.
That's
so
true.
I graduated.
That is true, yeah.
With my master's in marriage and family therapy. So there's that. My B side is that.
Is the test.
So I've been studying for my licensure exam, and y'all, it is a lot, and it's just a lot. Like, it's one of the more complex exams, and I haven't taken a standardized test
SATs.
since SATs, and so I'm just like,
Don't say how long that was though.
I'm not gonna say how long it was, but it's been a minute, and so trying to figure out how to study, but then it's not necessarily like a recall test, this founder did this and whatever. It's very much, it's a mix of that, and as well as you have to
What
read
if?
scenarios.
Like what if?
And then, so what would you do first?
But you
no.
like what ifs.
But I didn't make the answer key. Okay. So what I would do initially may not be what somebody else would do initially.
Gotcha.
And so, yes, I've been having a little bit of a identity crisis in that because it's just kind of like I've been working on me and being authentic to being me, and now I don't feel like I can do that in order to pass this test. So it's been, I realized that as I've gotten older, now there's a bit of test anxiety. And so trying to manage that even while I'm studying and stuff. So that's my B-side.
Okay. All right. So next segment is a P2P share where we share something we're reading, listening to, or watching. What you got?
I don't know if I have anything because we finished Love is Blind and all that reunion stuff. I know last week we talked about the episode, but we've been watching reunion stuff, been watching their interviews and stuff like that. I don't know. What have I been watching?
We was watching the Martha's Vineyard thing. We try to get to season 2. Season 1, we still on season 1, but
Oh, we didn't start. I thought we just picked up at season 2.
no, we didn't. That's still season 1.
Well, no. So I don't really have anything. I was I've really been studying. I did read this book. It's really good. I liked it. It's so this is the problem I have about Black authors. Hear me out for a second. I know that the Black experience, there's a lot to our, to being Black and having that experience. What I find is a lot of books, so they deal with slavery and either slavery or Reconstruction period. And we have a lot of relevant stories today. And I'm just like, do we always have to, do I always have to go back to that period? I mean, I know our stories need to be told. So I've been trying to really be more intentional about being more, just having a wider breadth as far as what I'm reading, and then, but still supporting Black authors.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's either slavery or it's self-help. Y'all, anyways. Maybe it's just me. So, but I did read This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan, and I thought it was just a really good story. It's kind of like a little romantic kind of thing, but it wasn't like too like sappy or soapy. Maybe that's the right word. Like, soap opera.
Oh, I was like soapy. What does that mean?
So yeah. So anyways, but I would highly recommend that if you're just looking for like a good read. It's entertaining. Like I got through it. Audiobooks. So I got through it really fast, but I was like, oh, I wonder where it's gonna go. How is it gonna resolve itself? So.
Okay. So for me, it's just like I said, when I was a little emotional, when I was doing the headstone for my mom, I found, and it just randomly popped up on YouTube, and I watched it and it had me cracking up. So it's called Cancel Court. So it's basically just improv comedians, but they're actually taking, they're taking heated topics that they say the culture always talks about. Like I'll just give you for example, who's the GOAT, Jordan or LeBron, and then like who's the best rapper, Tupac or Biggie. So it was so each person had a side. They had to actually go talk through it, and it was like I said, the LeBron and Jordan one was 2 episodes. So it was literally, they broke it up. They did one last year and they just did the second part this year.
Yeah.
So, but it was funny. Like I said, for me, it was just funny. It was something that really, for me, it was just like I was able to just listen and just laugh about it and not have to. Not saying not have to. I'm gonna say that because I was, so emotional. I needed just something that could make me laugh, and that really helped me. So, but yeah. So what we talking about, babe?
Well, what I would like to talk about, because I feel like we've been doing, like, I think the theme of our relationship, whether it was, before we got married or since being married, has been being able to transition and pivot.
Correct.
So I thought we should talk about that as it relates to friendships. Also, too, because making friends, what I've been finding and hearing is like, making good friends, having good solid friendships is difficult. Okay. Especially as the older you get.
Gotcha.
It gets a little difficult. So I want to talk about that and how your friendships impact your, romantic relationship.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess where do you want to start?
That's a great question. So we have been, we meaning me mostly. I would say me because I was the one that had the closer relationships.
Correct.
With people. The one thing I feel like we've done well as a couple is like if I have a good friendship with the wife, you tend to have you tend to have a relationship with the husband. It might not be at the level that I have with the wife.
Correct.
But we always seem to do that. And
Correct.
we also tend to gravitate towards people who are in relationships that have like kids.
Correct.
Our age. So that's typically how we kind of make friends. And so I have been in a season where some of what I thought were really good friendships ended, and they ended without closure.
Okay.
Right? And so that had me thinking I was feeling some kind of way, and I brought that, I feel like, into our relationship because it kind of made me doubt, like, honestly, initially it made me doubt, like, my character, like, what, since this was happening to a certain circle of friends, I'm like, so if I'm the common denominator, then it must be me, right? Okay. And so I'm into self-reflection. So I feel like I'm very self-aware. Well, not very, but I feel like I'm self-aware to an extent. So I was like, okay, so what is it about me And then I'm like, but is it me though? Right? Well, at the point, but I brought all that and I had to have a conversation with you and was just like, I'm not understanding why is it so hard? Because you would think, when you have friends, you're like, especially if y'all have been close, you're like, oh, it shouldn't be hard. We're adults. Yeah. Like, if there's an issue, if there's an issue, let's just talk about it. Like, let's sit down, let's figure it out, whatever. Or, let's have a conversation. And if we have the conversation and understand that, it's time for us to, recategorize this friendship, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm not all into, like, trying to force things. Because one thing, this is going to sound bad, but bear with me. But I don't really like people like that.
You've said that before.
But I really don't and when I say that, I'm an introvert. Like, I'm cool with, I'm just cool with the people I'm cool with. I don't need to expand my circle. I'm good.
Yeah.
And Jay's the extrovert. So he's the one, like, if y'all see us in any social function, he gonna be the one talking to people he don't know. But he always finds something that he has in common. Since he's a jack of all trades, like, he always is able to, like, make connections with people. Yeah. And then what he'll do is, so he's like my filler, and he'll be like, yeah, no. Like, he'll, like, tell me to what level I need to engage, right? Because that's what we've created.
Correct.
So, I guess I'm gonna pause there.
Okay.
So I know what I felt and what was going on with me. So how did you feel about the whole situation and how it impacted our relationship?
I guess I'll be, not say blunt about it, but pretty much just, I was like, for me, I was like, okay, just let it go. Because the simple fact is like, kind of like what you said is like, if people don't want to be friends with you, why do we have to do that work? Like, I'd rather focus on individuals who want to be your friend, that want to, fix things instead of just not fix it. Like, and I guess that's the fixer in me. Like, that's the fixer in me. It's like, if one person doesn't want to fix it, then, like, that's how I feel. But that, and part of, I guess that's part of the seesaw, I guess, because as somebody who, wanted to do athletic training, that then, went from athletic training to, helping couples and stuff like that, when you see a relationship, when you see a relationship end abruptly like that, it's like, for me, it's like, what do I need to do? What can I do to help? Because the simple fact is, it's like, there's but so much you can do. There's but so much you can do. And like I said, I didn't want to force it. I could have talked to the husband. I could have, but I was like, you know what? That's not my place. I'm not going to put myself in a position where I wasn't asked to do anything. So, but again, for me, it was like the hardest thing, I guess, for me to see you is you took that one instance and went back. Went back, 16 years. And then just started just talking about each relationship. And I was like, in my head, I was like, those have no bearing on what's going on right now.
Okay.
No, but that's how I took it. Like, that's fair. That has no bearing on what just happened. So again, it was a different situation. It was a different time because again, the times that it happened before, we was in a different time in our relationship.
Yeah.
Now it's different. So, and that's why, if I recall, I had said something, that there's a season for things like this. So
Yes.
maybe the season was just up, and
Yeah.
and maybe that at the time sounded real cold, but
It did, because I wasn't there yet. So, yes. So, let's see. Let me see where I want to go with this. Okay, so so Jay definitely wanted to come and fix things. And then it was actually to a point where I was like, you should never put more effort into a relationship, especially a friendship, than the other person is willing to do.
Correct.
To put in the work. So if it's because that goes back to being codependent, right? So anyways, I realized that I was trying to fix it. Like I'm trying to do more. Because I'm trying to figure out what's going on, like what happened, whatever. I didn't think the situation was to the point where it was like the friendship should end.
Yeah.
And then also too is the mystery around like the ghosting.
Yeah.
And I think the ghosting is what caused me to go back to previous friendships.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, I gotta go to therapy. Like literally it was like, I need to go to therapy because why am I going back there?
Correct.
Why am I associating this with that? Literally I collapsed 16 years as to the situation that happened before was like literally the week before. Like it was like so like fresh in what I was like, okay. So I went to therapy and literally started, processing it, because I was just like, I had to like keep and we say this all the time, when you're in conflict, keep the main thing. And so I was like, okay, so then when I was able to understand why that triggered, that was triggered, I was working through that. And so because, what your advice of, hey, like we ain't gotta force this, we're good. It hit me. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready because I wanted to make it work.
Yeah.
Also, too, because the way that we do friendships, like if we have a conversation, basically, like we know, especially like with new. With new friends, like we know, these are gonna, like these people, like there's gonna be friendships where we can go out, whatever, hang out, or these are like I like if it's a family, these are our family friends, and then some friends are family, and we don't, and also too, we don't use certain term, like we don't use these terms lightly, right?
Correct.
So if we call you family, we really do mean that. And especially if we're hanging out and our kids are hanging out and the husbands because first of all, if the husbands get along good and the wives get along good, the kids get along for the most part, they always gonna have their stuff. But like if we call you family, you family. And so with that comes, if there's a fallout, or there's a tension, or, there's conflict, we're going to talk about it. Because you don't just walk away from family. So throughout all this, what I found is that not everybody is that same way. So a lot of people will address each other as, that's my best friend, but not really mean it.
Don't really know what that really means.
Yes. So I found that it's very important, especially if you're using labels like best friend, like, they're my family, for you to, if you feel like you're to that point, to have a conversation. Because if one person does not have that feeling, then it's gonna create. You want to make sure you're on the same page. Just like you want to make sure you're on the same page in your marriage, you want to make sure you're on the same page in your friendships. Because, like I said, if I call you family, then we're going to, like, it's not like, oh, we're just going to ghost each other, right? It's like, oh, there's a conflict. We don't have to talk about it right now because we're both, hot, or, somebody felt some kind of way. The other person didn't.
Yeah.
So we can wait and we can reconvene when we're both, have cooler minds to have the conversation, but we will be having the conversation because we're family.
Correct.
And when you don't, when you're not on the same page and you're using these terms of, oh, that's my best friend, and the other person doesn't feel that way, it just creates, when there's these situations, it just makes it strange.
Yeah.
Also, too, like I said, if we say you're family, there's also an expectation of that we don't have to be in each other's face all the time as family.
Correct.
Because we're very busy. And so the understanding, I could put this out there now, like, I'm honestly not looking for a best friend, because I really do think Jay is my best friend. I consider him my best friend. I just consider him my best friend. So I'm not really looking for that, but like close friendships, whatever.
Sorry.
Because of that, I don't need to talk with you, hang out with you every single day in order for us to feel connected,
Correct.
right? So I went off a little bit of a tangent there, but I'm just saying you have to be careful with those labels. Also, too, you have to understand that friendships, there are different categories for friendships, right? And this is what I had to understand in order to let go.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are, so we basically have three categories. One is, friends come in your life for a reason, for a season, and for a lifetime. And if you don't, and it goes kind of back to the labeling, right? So if you have, before I make the connection, let me just define that. Okay. So for friends for a reason, meaning, our daughters go to the same dance class or in the same dance school.
There's a reason.
That's a reason.
Yeah.
And it could be when that reason, so if my daughter decides now she just wants to focus on soccer, we might not be friends anymore because it's kind of like, oh, that's the reason. And like I said earlier, we have couples who love to go out. And we don't always want to do that, but we know if we want to go out, we know who to call, right? So we were like, oh, they'll be down for taking a trip or they'll be down for whatever. So those are friendships that are based around a reason, a common interest.
Correct.
Okay. For a season, meaning it could be a season of a different season in your life. So, for example, when Jay was working a lot outside of the house, it really benefited me to have these friendships because we could come together, hang out, because the other husband also was always kind of out of that house working. But so then the moms could get together, the kids could get together, and we can help each other, and we could help pickups and stuff like that. We can help with coordination.
Yeah.
But the season does change. So now that I'm working out of the house a lot, and Jay's home mostly, I don't expect him to be hanging out with the wife, you know what I'm saying? Because that's going to be a problem, right? So I'm just saying.
Oh, no,
right?
I know, but
So that was a season. So that's what it says. So some friends are literally your friends for a particular season, a particular phase of life that you're going through. Yeah. It could be while the kids are in school or while you're in a certain neighborhood, you have that close friendship. And then when you guys move away or they move away, whatever, then it's just not the same anymore. Yeah. And you realize that it's just now we're just associated. We're friendly, but it's just we're not close friends. Yeah. Yes, and then the third one is friends could be there for a lifetime. And those are the ones that we consider family.
Correct.
Meaning, I mean, our village, like, I can't remember the last time that we were all together at a social event.
At a social event?
Yeah.
I would say it. They all come over.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, one didn't.
Yeah, so this was like, it's been a long time since we've all been able to.
It was most of them.
It was most of them, but it's been a long time since we've all been able to hang out together, right?
That's true.
But if they needed us right now, we were like, all right, y'all, the podcast's over. We got to go, help them or whatever. Be there for them. And that's what it's like. We don't talk often, but we we catch up and stuff like that. But they're family. Yeah. And so, why are you looking at me like that?
No reason. No reason.
So that's what's like, that's a very, that's a very small group.
Correct.
Because of that. It's the, because they supported us through some very, very rocky times. Yeah. And some tough, life stuff. So it's like, we've been there for the highs and lows for them too. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So that's, those are people who will be with us for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. So, I said all that to say, I have put these certain friends into the wrong bucket. Mm-hmm. I thought they were going to be for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. And it took a while for me to understand that they were only here for a season.
Correct.
And once I was able to accept that, then I was able to let go. Mm-hmm. And then also too, so I guess, I don't want to say anything else for that, or should I?
If there's something else you have to say, yeah.
I don't know. I think that, that's real.
That's real, and it's real because as we're talking about that, I'm just thinking about, and it's something that we talk. What I was always kind of, it always happens to come up when we're doing premarital counseling or marriage coaching about how a diamond is actually made. Like, it's not something that you can just that it's you get it and pull it right out the ground. No, it's a process for it. Yeah. It takes time for time for a diamond to, the materials to kind of just meld together to actually be in that in that form. And then when it comes out the ground after a certain amount of time, and it's not like it's something 1-2 week thing. Like it's gonna be there for a while. They pull it out the ground. And then they start to chip it away. And that's like something that I always talk about. And even said at a couple, my close friends that I grew up with at their weddings about, how there's going to be a lot of pressure in your relationship. There's going to be outside pressure that's going to basically, I say force you to make a decision, but it's going to be pressure outside that you're going to have to make a decision of what's more important. And then there's going to come a time when you have to start cutting things away. Yeah. And as you cut those things away, we first think, we're cutting this away and it's taking away something. Mm-hmm. But as we cut away those different things, that makes that diamond that is your relationship. And I'm gonna say in marriage term, that diamond that's your relationship, that's where you get the cut. That's where you get that specific cut, and then the clarity comes from that, after you start to cut those things away. Mm-hmm. So, and it just really made me think about, even for when I first moved down here, like the friends that I had, like I literally had to, really tell them, like, listen, because some of the friends were girls, and I was like, we can't talk like this anymore. Yeah. We can't hang, I can't hang out, can't talk like this anymore. I was like, because my priority is my wife. And I was like, so I can't be having conversations with you, one, if she's not comfortable with it, but I just can't, I was like, I don't feel right doing this. So I had to start to cut certain things away, and again, these are people that I may have known for some odd period, but I still had that. For us to grow, for us to get stronger, I had to cut those things out. And then it's like, so that's why it kind of goes to what this is like. Yeah, at the moment it hurt because, you thought this was going to be something that's going to be for a while.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when we realized it was meant for a season. So yes, it hurt, but it's you cutting that away made you stronger because it allowed it allowed you to be able to really reflect on it and say, okay, and like just the clarity that you got now, it allowed you to be able to say, okay,
Definitely.
I see the lanes that I need to have people in now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, to have lanes where you have people in, because again, you have acquaintances, you have and then you have real close friends, and then you have, like, for me, I'm gonna say acquaintances, friends, and then family. And family includes those friends that you can go to for anything. And that's like, and for me, like, I've grew up with.
Yes, and I think that was it right there.
Like, I grew up with, a group that I've known since I was 11 to 12 years old. And we still tight right now.
Yes.
Like, we've gone through some stuff in this group, but at the same time, we still are tight. We still, we still have each other's back, like, and we're all over the country, but at the same time, we still talk. We talk on a daily basis. We argue, we joke, but for us, it's no hard feelings. Like, this is us, this is who we are, and this is how we've always been. So.
No, and I think that was it. I was like, because I thought I was building my little group. Not necessarily, like, I didn't think I was going to be like you guys, because y'all are
wild.
Y'all are wild, and it's different.
But
I thought I was building mine. Also, too, because I'm like, I put myself out there.
Yeah, and you don't really do that.
And I don't do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, this sucks. I ain't doing it no more. I was like, literally, I told my therapist, I said, I don't need no new friends.
Yep.
She was like, well, I think you're still, hurting. And I was like, I'm good. I'm clear, crystal clear. I don't need no new friends. But at the same time, there were people who we could be friends with.
Yeah.
So now I was like, all right, well, I said no new friends. So I guess I'm going to keep you this way, right?
Yeah.
But the good thing is that this whole thing has really caused us to reevaluate who we haven't, like the buckets that we put people in, our friendships in, and how they impact our relationship.
Correct.
And as we were talking about it, it was like certain friendships were not going to be sustainable as we were transitioning to a different phase in our lives.
Correct.
Which also helped me to understand that these people were here for a season. And even though we might have initially went into that friendship thinking it was going to be different, it is okay to reevaluate and to adjust. Because it's like, so honestly, still to this day, I don't think that, I feel like I'm friendly. I don't know if that is reciprocated. But I think that we could have had a conversation to be like, okay, we can still be friendly. I understand this was just for a season, so we can take steps back. Like, we can have that conversation, I would think.
But even just like what I said back when it happened, not everybody understands what that means to have a conversation.
True.
Because their experiences
of
growing up,
they have their own stuff.
They have their own stuff of how they seen with their family, how things happen when you don't have friends or you stop being friends with somebody. How it is, so, and then for you is different. Like, it so is. And that, again, that's the thing. It's like you have two different entities trying to, not say push their own agenda, but push what they want to do.
Yeah.
And some people just don't. Not say they don't have it in them. They don't know how to do that because
You're right.
they're not used to doing that. They're not used to, I'm not saying fighting for friends, but not used to even being able to have a clear conversation with somebody. And not because you need to come to agreement, but just to get an understanding.
Yeah.
Of the other person's point. So.
And you're right about that. It's all about the understanding because I can get understanding. from your, of your perspective, and, you get an understanding of mine. And then we were like, hey, it was fun while it lasted. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But it did, like I said, this process did cause us to reevaluate, some of the other friendships that we have, have in our lives, determine, kind of like, where do we need to invest the time?
Yeah.
Okay. Because honestly, we didn't have a lot of time. And we still don't. But, so it's just like, where do we need to, like, what other friendships had I put on the back burner? Had we put it on the back burner because we were putting so much time in these?
Yeah.
And it was, apparently there needs to be a redistribution. So what did that look like?
Yeah.
And being able to have that, and then even like accepting the fact that I could make new friends, and that is okay. Like, I don't have to be guarded. Well, I'm still going to be me, so I'm still going to be introverted, but I don't have to say no new friends.
Yeah. You don't have to
but
put the
also,
wall
too,
up.
I don't have to jump in with both feet. Like, I'm not jumping in head first, like, hey. But being able to have those conversations with, people as we're developing, friendships, and being okay with, having to adjust if they're not in one category, they come in another. So it's fine.
It's fine.
Basically, said all that to say, everything's fine. So yeah, I don't really have a marriage advance tip.
I don't know if that's a marriage events tip. I can't think who said it, but who you surrounded by, your circle is kind of, wasn't like where you're gonna go. Like, so if you constantly are behind with hanging around or surround yourself with negative people, you can't expect to be a positive person, being a positive all the time. So, just really finding those friends, and again, you have to be able to, and I guess even like in relationships, and like if when you're dating somebody, you've been with somebody a long time, y'all actually break up, your first thing is to shut down. Like, I'm not dating anybody, I'm not doing anything no more. But I guess, and I'll say for me, doing the work, because that's like what I did. Because, like I said, before I met my wife, I went through a bad breakup. And at first, that's what I was saying. But then I had to do the work for myself. And then once I did the work for myself, then I was able to remove that wall that I put up because I was hurt. But I was able to remove those walls and be able to just see people not for who they are, but see people and be able to just, allow myself to get to know people again and get to talk to people, because I really was closed off. But but I was gonna say, it really wasn't a marriage event, but it kind of all goes into that, because if you think about it in relationship terms, it's the same. It's similar with friends. So if you go through that same thing, you're hurt, and then like you said, I don't want to have any more friends.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's like, so you're putting up that wall, and you're, God's going to, put those people in your life for a reason, for a particular season. If they're there, meant to be there for life, they're going to be there. But you have to allow God to be able to put these people in front of you so that so He can take you where He wants you to go. But if you keep, but if you keep blocking it off, you can be blocking your blessings. That's how I look at it, I guess.
Yes. So what I heard was iron sharpens iron, and that you should just surround yourself with the friendships and the relationships that
like-minded too.
That are like-minded and actually like put like are progress once
helping you to grow.
Yes, there we go. That have a growth mindset, allow you to grow, allow you to, but also allow you to be vulnerable and authentic. Because to have true friendship, you have to, and like mentorship and all that, you have to have the ability to be yourself.
Yeah.
And to say, in a respectful way, but you to say how you feel, right? To share your feelings, to share your thoughts, your fears, and all that stuff. So that will be my marriage advance tip, is just make sure your community is a iron sharpens iron type of
That's good.
vibe.
That's good.
And if not, you got to build it. And if you need to build it, you need to hit us up on Facebook. Join our Facebook group, because we have one of like-minded couples.
Agree. All right. So, like as always, like, follow, share, subscribe. Again, share this with somebody that just share with somebody, not even just specific. Just share it with somebody. Like as always, if there's a specific topic that y'all want to discuss, hit us up in the DMs and let us know, and we'll be sure we'll put it on our plate to bring it to you guys.
Yeah.
Is that everything?
That is.
All right. Until next week.
Because remember, the real work begins at I do. Peace.